Righteous anger is essential for the soul. We're going to hear about codependency, righteous anger, how to emerge victorious, and who's there when you die. Also, tell people you're in a bad mood. Darn it, I'm in a bad mood. And Stonehenge, Druids, and Gnostics. Oh my, some fun things. Welcome to the New Spirit Radio Show by the Society of Novus Spiritus, founded by world-renowned spiritual teacher Sylvia Browne. I hope everyone agrees today is January 7th of 2026. Coming to you live from California, both NorCal and SoCal are your hosts, Reverend Tom Bigley and Reverend Catherine Taylor, playing audio segments we call Messages from Spirit. Why? Helping you understand the fundamental question, what are we here for?
These segments are recorded trance sessions from Francine, Sylvia's spirit guide. So for new people, Sylvia was a full trance medium, which means Sylvia contracted to let her and Francine's essences exchange places in Sylvia's body. And we think of our bodies being similar to a car where one driver gets out and another driver gets in. And this allowed Francine to share spiritual knowledge with us directly from the other side.
On occasion, another master teacher and healer, a guide named Rahim, would exchange with Sylvia and present us with spiritual information as well. Francine and Rahim shared directly from sources like the Akashic Records, Mother and Father God, our spirit guides, Christ, and many others.
And meanwhile, during trance, Sylvia would sit on a nice bench in a rose garden on the other side.
And here are our hosts, Reverend Catherine Taylor. No, that way. And Reverend Tom Bigley.
Yeah.
That's right.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. And yes, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone that's watching.
Yes.
Glad you made it here.
Absolutely.
And for the new people, welcome. Glad you stopped by. Take a look. Hear what's available. I'm going to give a quick agenda, so it's like kicking the tires to get an idea on what are we presenting? What are you going to hear from us? We like to start out with announcements, and that's followed by our favorite segment called How Did You Use Novus Spiritus Philosophy? For those of you that do remember, now's a fun time to start typing in the comments. Also, that's followed by special prayers and a moment of silence. Then we get into the trance segments. Ooh, that's followed by a meditation. Yeah, the last episode had a special meditation, if you haven't heard it yet. Well, we get into closing notes, talking about liking, subscribing, and wait for it, there's a novena. It's a special prayer ceremony that everyone's welcome to participate in. I'll talk about that later. Then I encourage some appreciation, and we conclude with a prayer by Sylvia. If you're interested in getting your comments posted on video, by all means, later on when we hear the closing song, start posting in the comments, and we're going to put those up through the video for everyone to share and see. And we're also, everyone's curious. What did we share? What did you like? What made sense to you? Ooh, guess what? Now it's time for a candle. If it's appropriate where you're at, by all means, grab a candle and hello, do I need a Christmas present? Oh, there it goes. This one's designed for lighting in a winter storm. I hope it keeps going. There we go. Real quick announcements here. Again, welcome all to the new, all the new subscribers and followers. Really appreciate your clicking on it because that helps get that out. It promotes us as well. I'm not sure if you want to help others benefit from this content, but you can help pay it forward and promote this content. If you would, on Facebook, share, like, and follow, and YouTube, if you'd subscribe, give a thumbs up, and click on the bell. Another method of helping out support, donate. You can use credit card, Venmo, and PayPal. We also take Zelle. You can send payments. It's one of those fun money transfer services supported by the major banks. And if you're using Zelle, you can send funds to office@novus.org. All that information should be on our website. I don't know if you need a gardener for inner growth, but like a gardener prunes, nurtures, and waters plants so they thrive. Chris Dufresne helps nurture and guide your inner growth. Don't miss out on Chris question special with email notifications. Go to his website, chrisrightnow.com, and put your email in there. You'll get notified for upcoming specials. Most everything else, I think besides the fact that he's doing live, you can see him doing live Q&As that you can participate in as well on several of the, like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, quite several of the social media outlets. Facebook users, if you're new here, if you haven't heard this before, Facebook deletes these kind of long form videos after 30 days. So you'll have to find another venue like YouTube to see old, past episodes over a period of time. Facebook users also, if you, be seen in our chat by clicking and accepting the permissions, there's a link in the description that's something like talkstudio.streamlabs.com/Facebook. If you click on that and accept the permissions on there, your name then shows up. It's a Facebook privacy thing. Fortunately, it appears that you only need to do this once. Where are we? Now's the fun time that we like to share. How did you use Novus Spiritus philosophy in the last, now it's like 4 weeks, 4 or so weeks. I've lost track. And it's almost to the point of, how what is it, 6 weeks to break a habit and 6 weeks to make one? It's like we're getting close to like not remembering how to run this show. It's like,
No. Oh no.
Well, that's why I'm really glad I've got these checklist things to go through. And what did I do? Oh, that's right. Yes, now it's the time we like to share about Novus Spiritus philosophy. I usually like to offer Kat to go first. I have not done my homework. I might think of something if you go first, or if you choose something else in a different direction.
I'll be happy to volunteer to go first. Oh,
all right.
Super, super happy to be back. Hello, everybody. It's fantastic. If I sound a little bit different, I do have a new mic set up, and let us know how it sounds in the comments. But still in the process of fine-tuning things. What I used of the last couple weeks, oh man, there was so much that happened, but I completed a vision board for 2026, and I forgot to go grab it, but I completed it, and I put it in the place where I'm going to see it the most often. So it's right above my PC monitor on the wall. I'll be happy to go grab it and show people. And I separated it out into spring, summer, fall,
Cool.
and winter, basically, to kind of keep me on track. And so I'm seeing like the entire path that I would like to navigate over this coming year. And then I had some very heartfelt talks with God, and I'll be happy to share something, because we've talked about bargaining. And like when you're asking something for God, you want to tell them like what you're going to use for it or how you're going to give back with it. And I tried to make a case of saying, hey, please help me keep my health as on track as absolutely possible, because there's so many things that I feel very frustrated, like deep down in my soul, just incredibly frustrated about that either got delayed or just pushed back by years and years because of health shenanigans. And it's told God, I was like, I'm glad to give you this experience. I'm glad to have gotten experience from these events, but like at this point, can we please just let me be able to do some work? because I just want to get to a point where, like, all right, the experiences add up to something, and now I feel I'm at the place where I want to go do the things. And so I tried to make as good a case as I could about it, and I wrote out my petitions on Mother Agnes feast day, and I just wrote long, like very, very long letter. It was like a 3-page letter. Put it in my golden bowl, and then on top of it, they'll share one more thing that I did. Is I went through the tools of protection. So if you have Journey of Souls number 3, there is a beautiful couple of pages that list like a lot of the tools of protection that we've talked about and heard about, etc. And I went through there, and then I typed out like all the proofs that are all just like, dear God, please, like, bless me with the white light. Please cement my emotion and intellect. And so I went through and just like made a bullet point of just every single thing that I could think of, asking for angels, asking for divas, asking for like the pillars of white light to be strengthened, asking for any bumps in the road to be fender benders instead of fault. Like, I just went through and I listed as many of those things as I could, and I put it on a little like notes app on my phone so I can look at it at night, because I'm going to be honest with myself. I know that I look at my phone every night, and that's not going to change. So it was like, let me try to shape this. If I can't overcome it, I'm going to shape it into something positive. And so I was like, all right, let me look at this app and go through a list of those things. And my goodness gracious, it felt really, really wonderful by the time that I got through this massive list of things that we've discussed over the years. But I feel marvelously energized. I'm super excited to see what positive things I can carve out of 2026, and I'm super excited to share it with everyone here and see where we go next. So
cool.
Fun. That is how I attempted to steer this ship. What about you, Tom?
Yes, something came to mind, and it's about letting go of, and not just fears and phobias, but what do you say, resentment and anger from like past traumas. Letting things go. And I recall just stop doing everything over the last several weeks. I just like, letting myself that, okay, I'm not going to force myself, not going to do anything. And I got, well, for lack of a better term, it's, depressed, let myself get depressed, as it were. Just, okay, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to worry about getting up, going to bed, any of that stuff. And it was sort of like, okay, just let's figure out what I want to do instead of what should I be doing, was the goal behind it. I realized for myself personally, trying to identify how past traumas, from childhood affect me, because things have gone on so long, insecurities. And yes, I've seen some changes for myself, some improvements, some in what's the right word? Confidence. Thank you. In certain areas, but I'm still seeing like a lack of really. The motivation is been fear-based, and I think that started last year for me to unwind that. That was for me personally. Stop worrying about what doing it because I was told to do it or worried about it needed to get done. That's taken like a year for me to unwind to. This year, I said, okay, I'm not going to do anything, and said, what, let myself get back up again. What do I want to do? you know, when I get up, what am I going to make for breakfast? Well, I'm not worried about it. Let's figure what's the first thing that comes to mind. Helping me get back to that. What's the first thing that comes to mind instead of what I should be doing? So I'd let myself, you know, sleep in or wear pajamas all day long. That kind of thing. Yes, I got worried for a while. Like, okay, is this going to adjust? Is it going to change? What am I going to? And uh, what am I going to do when the holidays are over? Is there going to be some form of motivation for me? And that's how far I was just letting things go.
Oh gosh.
And I thought, okay, but I'm just I'm gonna let it go because I don't want to be fear-based motivated anymore. You know, based on insecurities and things of that nature. And I was trying to think of there was a certain I don't recall the event that happened. Something that sparked inside of me. The second incident that happened was my partner was having issues with some constant reliving trauma ideas, and it finally we finally got into a conversation of, oh, by the way, picture it in a picture that negativity in a ball of energy and let it go. And we hit on several things that have popped up over time of, oh, you can wrap that up in a ball and give it away, give it to Mother God, bury it in the dirt. You know, we've heard several examples from Francine and Sylvia about, you know, if you've got a fear or a worry about something, picture it in a ball and blow it up if you want. And it was interesting. There was my partner came up with for one issue was a ball of yarn. Oh, cool. Okay, a ball of yarn. Pfft, give that to Mother God. And another one was dirty clothes. And I go, oh,
I
that's
love that.
interesting visual. Just, you know, give those to Mother God and see them taken away, disappear, or whatever works for you. And after that conversation, it's dawned on me, why haven't I been doing that for me? I thought I had been, but I don't think to as much as I see things, still see or feel insecurities. I don't. What is it? I haven't. How do you say? It seems like I haven't gotten that emotional. There's no emotional release. It's just okay. It's there. I said let's let it go, but it hasn't disappeared. It hasn't dissipated. I was like, oh, maybe I haven't done such a good job at, or I wasn't ready to let it go. That's the other thing. You know, it's on occasion I get these emotions of, okay, what do I want to do next? Well, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do. I don't. I'm you know, burned out for whatever given circumstance, and so that's what I've been working on. Is, oh, I can let's let these go. It's now these past traumas that have what's I don't want to say cemented, but that's probably the first word that comes to mind. Cemented these the anger, the why am I insecure about engaging? Well, I don't want to engage with people sometimes, and you know that, and but allowing that to be okay. That's the thing. So it's just rooting out some negative emotions that I've had a hard time just to let those go and wanting to let those go. That's the thing that some people, I'm not sure if people have experienced or understand. It's you have to want to let it go. Yes, you can get all the encouragement, but if your emotions don't want to let it go, they won't. You're going to hang on to it, and that's what I've been probably working on for the last year or so. Is encouragement to let those things go because of, you know, we're familiar. It's the the old clothing is so familiar to us. We're most comfortable with the old clothes. Yes, it's time to get new clothes. Well, we're still comfortable with the old ones. It's sometimes hard to let those old things go.
I have so much appreciation for everything you just shared, and insecurities are I feel like my own insecurities have put me back years on feeling joyful about things, having friendships when I was younger, feel like or not
having friendship.
right. Yeah. No, it just my goodness, like pick a chapter and like it had something to say about how it was derailing me, just like putting things back. And I want to let you know, like, that what you shared is very heartfelt, and I have so much compassion for
thank
what
you.
you just
Thank
shared.
you.
Thank you. And you are not alone, my friend.
I'm envious of your vision board. It's like, what?
Oh,
She did that? Why didn't I do that yet?
I'll go grab it when after we go get our first segment going, and I'd be super excited to share. And
does it fit on the screen? I mean, are we gonna be? I'm just.
You know what? It's probably like things are probably gonna fall off of it, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That is absolutely okay. Because I think that the handling of it, and like you know what I ended up doing is I ordered a little kit off of Amazon from someone who, like, 'cause I saw that, I was like, oh, there's some like vision board kits that make things simple, because I was driving myself bonkers, just completely nutty bananas trying to find pictures that I wanted. I'm like, this just doesn't fit. This just doesn't fit me. This doesn't fit me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm driving myself crazy. I need to stop this. So I went and ordered like a vision board kit. It was like tons of images, take your pick. And I was like,
okay,
this
cool.
is fantastic. This is absolutely fantastic. This makes me so happy. And then I already had like a pile of stuff that I've cut up like at various points in the past of other vision board stuff that I've done. And so I just kept it. And so anyway, I'd be super happy to share. And I encourage, like, if anyone is listening to this right now being like, oh, you know what? That sounds like a great idea. Fantastic. Go get yourself some materials, some magazines, anything, and just start working on it. Or at least even just take a piece of paper and start writing down, like, spring, summer, fall, winter, like some things that you want to do. And like, you can do some doodles, you can write some words, at least start somewhere. You will feel your spirit start to activate and come up. And it is a beautiful thing. And because I worked on it while I was actually listening to other stuff. So, I like to keep my hands busy. So it was this little craft project. So but going back to what you said, though, Tom, I just want to say you are so not alone. And here, you know what just came to mind? Please, yes.
Francine told me this years ago, and I've struggled with how to organize this or work this out. She said, you've got the cart before the horse. And I'm like, okay, well, I figured that out. The horse has got to be my emotions. So I've got the emotions behind the cart. All right, now how do I switch that around? What? And that's where allowing me to like do nothing. You know, kind of like, you know what came to funny? It came to mind was like a desert period, letting myself have that desert period of, okay, I'm not going to do anything. Now let's see what I feel like doing to get that horse in front of the cart. And that's the challenge for me is what is it for me to have the horse in front of the cart moving things? That's what I'm, how do you say, ironing out for myself. And I see and other people are seeing in me my what is it? I was just doing Toastmasters last night, and I'm seeing myself. Things are just like popping and clicking in place for me when I do a presentation. In there's in out of nowhere, humor pops in that I don't. It's not like, oh, I'm going to be funny. It's something simple that is
I love your humor.
So there's more.
Love your sense of humor.
It's coming out easier. So to me, that's
good.
a clue that I'm working at getting that horse in front of the cart.
While we're on this topic, and I feel like it's really, really heartfelt for so many people. About 10 years ago, and you guys wouldn't know this, I think, like, I don't think that y'all would notice this just by listening to me talk now, but I ended up getting attacked at work and by a client, a very small client who is very aggressive because I'm a therapist. And I was working in community-based services, and this individual took a running leap at me from behind. I didn't see them coming, and they got me right over the head, just whoop, really, really hard. And I had such a concussion that it got into traumatic brain injury levels, and I could not talk. I could not understand anyone speaking to me. I could not, the only words that I could say was yes, no, paper, and pencil, and that was it.
Wow.
I could not walk across the street safely. I could not dress myself. I could not open a pill bottle to save my life. I couldn't organize what it took to pour cereal into a bowl and have breakfast. I was completely, I completely just had to relearn how to live, and I completely had to relearn how to talk. I completely had to relearn how to do art. I had to relearn how to do everything. And I had the most incredible speech impediment that you just never would believe that I'm where I'm at right now. Never would believe it. And I had I had a lot of interesting takeaways from this experience, but I told God, I was like, I am not letting this ruin my confidence for the rest of my life. I am not letting this ruin my ability to do good works for the rest of my life. And when I put it in those words, then I could just start focusing on one problem at a time, one problem at a time, one problem at a time. And I got this very interesting because in this very slowed down state of being, I started noticing that, what exactly does it feel like to solve a problem? And that's such a very interesting thing to kind of take for granted. It's like, solve a problem, you just got to go do it, right? But actually, it was so labor intensive to do anything. Number one, I remembered that I in this calmed state, I could just think about one thing at a time. And that was very helpful. And that's something Sylvia's talked about a lot, is you just try to focus on one thing at a time, quiet the mind down. My mind was very quiet, people, let me tell you. There was not a lot happening inside because I couldn't speak English. It was very strange. I couldn't think in English. I couldn't do anything. I could read it kind of, but that was it. It was crazy. I could not speak to save my life. And so I would just get one idea at a time and just start focusing on that. And I knew that I knew that with that one idea, what I had to do was just go and press that idea for as long as it goes until I got fatigued. And that was the word that came to mind, was fatigued. That was I could go maybe 15 minutes, or maybe I could go 2 hours. But then there was a point of fatigue that hit me. And I said, okay, that was as much as I'm able to do with this task. And to go over, then I would be ruined. I'd be wrecked for days. But if I could go to the point of fatigue, then allow myself to rest and recover, have some nutrition, then that was how I got better. And I promise you, I could not talk. I could bring Jason in. I have 2 years of amnesia, partial amnesia for 2 years. I lost so much that happened from that event. But in that came a place of calm and just kind of recognizing, okay, whenever I come up with an idea of a task that needs done, I just need to slow down, let myself do it to the point where I no longer am doing that task anymore. We're at the point of fatigue and not a moment before, because if I give up out of frustration, that's going to be different. Then I'm not going to actually learn anything. I'm not going to get better. And there were days where I would get frustrated and be like, I can't do this anymore. And then I'd have to redo that whole thing again. I didn't like get the most out of the session of whatever it was that I was doing. And I was like, I've always wanted to be on like do a podcast. I've always wanted to be a speaker. I had always wanted to be a Novus minister. This was before I was a Novus minister. This was before I was in there, and I was thinking to myself, like, oh my God, are all of these dreams ruined now? And I was just like, no. I felt so much emotion, just screaming, like, I'm not going to let this stop me. And so I would say if anyone is in a point where you're feeling super, super in a bad place of confidence, you let that emotion come up. You think about the things that you love the most, and you let that emotion come up, and it will light the fire that goes forth. And then you just do one task at a time, just one, and you go to the point of fatigue, and then you stop, because that's the end of it. That's the end of it. That's the end of that activity. It's the end of that day, and you stop. Do something else. You have some nutrition, you have some self-care, you have some laughter, whatever it is that you do. And then after a couple months, my God, there's a lot of change that suddenly happened. You turn around, you're like, Jesus, I got all this stuff done that I didn't think I was going to happen. But that was such a wild experience. And, there are times in life where, like, somebody might say something really terrible to you, and it just destroys your confidence, or someone laughs at you at the wrong time. It just wrecks your confidence, something like that. And I just wanted to share that head injury situation, because the emotion that had to happen was a vehement denial of, like, no, I am not going to let this ruin everything that I'm loving, everything that I want to do. And that was the fuel, and it just let things sail. It just let things sail. And it did take time, took years, and I still have like little hiccups here and there, but you wouldn't know it now to hear me talk, I think, for the most part. Yeah.
You know what comes to mind?
Please.
Righteous anger.
Yes, we're going to talk about that today.
Exactly. Bingo.
Yes. Fantastic.
Funny how these thoughts come to mind. Coming up and sharing, and oops, I almost lost my place. But yeah, it's fun how these, even in Sunday services, in some locations there'd be two ministers talking the same, because we would do two talks on a Sunday, and both ministers never spoke to each other about what they'd talk about, and they'd end up talking about
that.
the same.
Amazing.
Sylvia and Larry would do that. We hear them, on some of theirs as well. But that's always fun to hear, and it gives us a sense as ministers of, oh, okay, I'm at the right place at the right time. I'm talking about the right thing.
Yeah.
Where
Amen.
Amen. Well, after all that fun entertainment, I bet there's probably 20 people that want to share their ideas, or at least we'd like to hear all of them.
Yes. My gosh, I'm so excited to reconnect with everybody. Oh my goodness. Okay. So many folks are in the comments. It's so wonderful to see you all. Some folks had some freezing rain up in Alberta. Oh, decided to stay in. That sounds like a nice excuse to stay in. Marvelous. Garden says, it reminds me of creating positive energizing with, like, stroking the body, like our arms, hands, legs, and back to re-energize the individual. Sylvia said that a while back, and it works great. That's a really good point. Thank you for reminding me of that. A lot of really sweet comments about what we were just talking about with confidence. while if anyone is furiously typing, now is your time to share what you know used of Novus philosophy over the last 3 weeks, the holidays, and everything. If you feel like sharing, I'm looking through the comments. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Saying that was a horrifying event, but Addie says, "Dear Kat and Tom, both of your YouTube presences are such a gift." Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for being here. You and Tom are wonderful guides, and I'm grateful for both of you. Thank you for sharing all your stories. You're so very welcome. So very welcome.
Is that hers? I just happened to.
Oh, let me look.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is so sweet. So sweet. Kai just says, your commitment to Mother and Father God is tremendous. It's we just got to do some good works. That's what it's all about. You got to do some good works. And Aaron says, I forgot about how much positive energy we all put into the pot every time we get together. Yes, it is miraculous and wonderful, even across distances. I always feel so much better when we all reconnect, and it's just marvelous. A garden says, send everyone here a miracle. Mother God, please hear us as many of our prayers as is needed. Amen. Amen to that. And God send Reverend Tom miracles too, and please hear our prayers. Amen. It's very beautiful. Thank you so much for all your prayers. All are just incredibly sweet. Yvonne says, I pray that we all have a better new year in 2026. Amen. I completely put all of my energy and vehemence behind that one too. I think that realistically, everything that Sylvia wrote about 2026 in all of her predictions, she said it was going to be a wild year. So everyone, it's okay to buckle up, but just keep your, dot your I's, cross your T's, maybe be on the safe side with a couple things is what I'm thinking, but trust your instincts, trust your God, your God center, talk to God, talk to your spirit guides about things, and just know that we'll continue to be here for each other, and that we've got loved ones in our lives. We'll continue to, including people that we haven't met yet. I completely believe that as well. And that our loved ones on the other side are watching out for us as well. So just God, whatever this year has in store for the world, for nations, for communities, for families, let it be as just keep us safe and keep our prosperity in a good place, and let us be able to stay connected, and let us go forward with as much grace and beauty as possible. Amen. So, okay, I'm looking at the clock. Tom, we gotta jump into things.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What are we supposed to be doing now?
Special prayers.
Okay, well, let's ask people, encourage everyone to ask Mother God, the archetypes, archangels, even our spirit guides to get involved. Visualize what that outcome is. What do you think is going to be helpful for that person or event or whatever, city, country? Visualize what a good outcome for that.
Yes.
And always ask for the greater good. So let's take a moment of silence, and we're going to get that energy out there for those in need. Amen.
Amen.
And of course, if you be the prayer, if you see a need, fill it.
You hear about that today too.
If you have special prayers that you want to, put in a private prayer request, you can go to the website and post on the prayer chain.
Beautiful.
We are doing that. We don't. or we haven't done that yet. Now we are into the trance segments. All right.
Fantastic. So this is a trance from 1989 with Francine. So the exact date is August 29th, 1989. So she's going to start off with codependency from a spiritual perspective. Righteous anger is essential to the soul. It's not possible to forgive certain things. And then a quote, everything that is made inside you comes from God and ultimately is a good. Ultimately is a good. Okay.
Cool. All right.
Cool.
What?
I'm going to grab my vision board now.
It's disturbing to me. Everything's changed on here. I had I did
Oh.
an update on the computer that I've been using to do this, and all the settings are changed. It seems like I'm like, wait a minute, what's wrong with this? So anyway,
It's okay.
I think I'm ready to go here. Here we go.
Okay.
About the word, or I guess you might call it double words of codependency. This happens to be, for some reason, as they say in your language, the new buzzwords in psychotherapy. The most ridiculous part about this is to level everyone off. It is another type of leveling off. And what's so ridiculous about this is everyone in life, in a physical body, is codependent on something. Your spirit is codependent upon your body to get it around. You are codependent upon your car to get you somewhere. You're codependent to have a house with a roof on it. You're codependent on a service. You're codependent on me as I am to you to speak to you. I don't want you, and I'm not against any psychotherapy, I'm against this constantly trying to level people off and to skirt their own advancement. Some people by nature, if they're loners, are not going to be as codependent as others. But I want you to realize that in this world you must be conglomerately dependent on everyone and everything around you to exist. We're trying to foster the idea of brotherhood, not alienationhood. And yet in a way that takes in a double entendre, because you then individually, on the other hand, are perfecting at your own rate, your own speed. I also, as Sylvia was talking to Shirley earlier, want to talk to you about the misconception of what we see of the cardinal sins. I want you to also understand that there is such a thing in human forces, as Sylvia's always said, as righteous, perpetuated anger. And you must have that in order to exist in this world. Your anger must rise against injustices. You must have a warrior type of attitude rather than a passive one. And that doesn't mean you pick up the sword, but the dignity of your soul must be aligned and respected at all costs. You also can get into the whole idea of not forgetting and not forgiving. Now this might come as a big shock to you, because I know that you've heard in all Christian so-called norms that everyone must forgive and forget. What happens is that people do not forgive and forget, and they walk around carrying this inside of them, pretending they have, and they become very ill. A soul pain that can be hit, or can hit you on what you might call the gut level, but a scar that is hurt or puts a scar in so deep. Forgiveness means that you have washed it and you will never think about it again and it didn't matter. You cannot tell me in all honesty before God that there are not crimes that have been committed against you, that you cannot wash, that remain with you, that hurt just as deeply, and you have not forgotten. And it is unhealthy for you to do so. That doesn't mean that you take up the sword in vengeance, but to give yourself consent not to forgive and not to forget is much better than to be constantly told that you must forgive and forget. That puts a burden on you in which you cannot handle. It is the same as guilt. In fact, it's far worse than guilt, because you walk around believing that everybody has forgiven and forgotten, and 99% of people do not, regardless of what comes out of their mouth. It is not honest, and they live with dishonesty. And if you do live in the land of denial, then you are going to become sick. Let's say that someone killed your child. Brutally, maliciously. You mean to tell me that there is any parent in this room that's going to tell me, honestly, I have forgiven and I have forgotten that act? It is not possible. Because if you do, you are defying everything that is in the human will. Even animals have this. You are not to approach a mother bear with her cubs. If you do, guess what could happen to you? And if you kill one of her cubs in her sight, what do you think she's going to do to you? She's going to run you down and kill you. You see, the whole idea of the mismanagement of how we are to act as human beings has been fostered and festered inside of you by the so-called religious norms that hang over us, that have nothing to do with Christian norms and the norms that come from God. Everything that is made inside of you comes from God, and ultimately is a goodness. God himself is not wrathful, but the feminine side is, and that enacts the marvelous emotional side of God experiencing all of these factors. Intelligence is not movable. It is a prima mobile, the unmoved mover. It is constant and consistent. But the emotional side that is experiencing must know all the facets of human endeavor. The other side of this is the scandal that is such a sin to do. You're going to find out that more and more people within the government, the world, are now being hit on all sides, especially anyone that is into anything that has to do with true religion. That doesn't mean you're going to be hit, for instance, like Sylvia, but you're going to be hit in attack. And you must be strong with this. You must be steady. It is not unlike what I've told you before, what the early Christians went through that were the true Christians, until all of this propaganda began to go out. And once you embrace these ideals, there is a benefit to this. There isn't a reward in heaven, of course not, because everybody goes to heaven, whether we feel they're bad or good. But what does happen is your life changes around. So for the small amount of time that you may feel that you're going through an attack, at the end of this is a rainbow and a pot of gold. Everyone is going to begin to see right away a recovery, a benefit, a neutralization of the horror that most people have been under since 1984. When this negativity began to start and spiral up was 1984, and it's continued right up to this point of 1989. It ends about the mid part of this month into October. the end of it. But even now, even though there are moments of depression and tiredness and anxiety, you're going to find it lifting a little bit each day. It took a long time to descend. It's funny how people don't realize how stuck in the mud they are until they start to try to rise themselves out of it. Then they realize how pruned up they've become from all of it, and feeling like they've had leeches all over them. Did you have your hand?
You say it's going to end soon. Can you describe what the battle was, who the players were, and how it's going to end? Is this a divine intervention?
VII.
Can you describe the process that led to her squelching it? What is she going to do?
She can't squelch until a certain point. Things must evolve for a person's own perfection. I'm talking about each one of you individually now. Not just somebody like Sylvia. I'm talking about each and every person has been going through their own hell since '84. Oh, some can track back farther than that, but I'm talking about the pivot of hell. Anybody who began to search after truth, anybody who began to seek after goodness, has to go through the labyrinth of darkness before they get to it. But people who come through the labyrinth would never trade it for the world.
I sort of guess I'm trying to get a description of actions taken. What buttons did Asna push? Did she pull a weed out? Is this a psychic weed? I'm trying to get a feel for what physically actions she took.
She can move things. She can create people to activate in certain ways. Remember when I told you at one of the last meetings sometime before that she is a miracle worker? She can intervene charts in which no one else can.
All right.
What? Yes, I've got two bits to put in. Talking about, she was talking about alienation, and I've heard people on podcasts talk about we need to encourage friendship and relationships, and social media is encouraging alienation, and it's addicting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point of the internet. Was a new technology for us and gave us ups and downs, and has helped us, but also created a lot of disruption, especially when online stores came into play. Now, the social media is another disruptor, and it reminds me of Sylvia's mind theory. Sylvia's mind theory of imagine, picture in your mind the upside down pyramid. In the book Journey of the Soul 3, she shows two pyramids opposing each other. That's how we come into life, which means we're open-ended to life and paying attention to life. And what we need to do is create that just singular upside down triangle, reducing the effects of what's going on outside of us and know more about what's going on inside of us. Yes, we need to work within the world, participate and do our things, but don't be so open and affected by what's going on, influenced by what's going on outside of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I struggled for a while with, because I kept having this voice on the inside of myself. It's like, do a podcast. Just get it, do a podcast.
Yeah.
And I had such a massive contempt for what social media has done to people's lives. And I'm like, you know what? But it's here to stay. And if we can, and in psychology, there's this really interesting term that I learned about in grad schools. Very kind of, oh my gosh. It's a really, really, really interesting term. It's called transitional experiencing. And transitional experiencing is what anybody does at different ages of life, but especially kids, where they'll see a concept like justice, and then they'll go play cops and robbers. Or they'll see a game and they'll make the game to be about something that they saw. And so it's the play that helps the child kind of work through their thoughts and kind of experience. What is it like to have confidence? What is it like to be on the side of justice? What is it like to be like caught by justice? Fiends. Oh no. But it's completely normal is the thing. And as adults, we have transitional experiencing in terms of in the form of art, in the form of creative expression. We have transitional objects in the form of our phones. It's something that we reach for in order to like have like kind of this intermediary experience so that we can, for the purposes to work through something in real life. And that is and what I came to was like, that's exactly what Tom and I do. Like it's marvelous when we get together in person. I love getting together in person. And yet, what is it that we like? What is the purpose that we're doing here? It's we have a connection that like, thank God we have it. It's, like calling up on the phone. Sure. And there's nothing wrong with calling somebody up on the phone. But in addition, because we're on social media, we are helping people work through something that is real. The real things that are happening in the person's life, in a person's soul. And that is like the essence of the best thing that you can do with transitional experiencing. And so I'm like, this is how I'm going to make peace with social media and using social media in spiritual capacity. Is like, we're helping people work through things that are real. Like, fine, it's fine. Oh my gosh. Anyway, a little bit of a side rant.
Be that light, be that beacon of light.
No matter where you are, including on YouTube, Facebook, and otherwise. Yes. I was really fascinated by what she has to say about codependency, forgiveness, and anger. And I just had a couple of thoughts really quick. I thought it was interesting that she described that psychology has a tendency to try to level people off. And when I was thinking, I was like, what exactly does she mean by that? And what I think is happening, what I like listening to her talk about it, and also listening to how they've talked about children with who present as having ADHD or might have difficulty paying attention because they're bored at something. Great. But she said that it's actually a misconception to try to like view every person as having the same baseline. And I think that's what she means. I think that was something that she was getting at with the codependency, because she was saying like some people are more independent than others.
Yeah.
And to not pathologize the people who are maybe less independent. I thought that was interesting. I thought that was really interesting. And the other thing was about forgiveness. And she said that like most people who say that they've forgiven and forgotten are actually lying. And I was like, oh,
that's the old clothes are so comfortable, I don't want to take them off.
Yeah.
It's those old pains that some people identify with those things. It's my war wound. It's my, my injured knee is flaring up. People identify with those things and make their life works around that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's what gives them a sense of what's the word? It's from an insecurity, and they use that as to what's the right word? Elevate themselves. But it's, I think of it in terms of false form of trying to elevate yourself emotionally.
Yeah. As far as what you can do with this, if anyone listening is thinking about a time where somebody might have really tried to stick you pretty good, and you've tried to forgive them, but feel like, oh man, I still hurt over that. I still get hot in the face. There are people, I look for reasons to forgive people, man. I look for reasons for me to move on with my life and to have mercy. And mercy is one of the keys of like a mystical traveler, is like to be very merciful. It's like, oh, I understand that why this person did this, and I'll give them grace and understanding for that. But there are other instances, like I just want to let you know it's okay if you find yourself still angry at somebody in the past. That is a good thing. It's okay and it's normal. And I'm just grateful for what we just listened to. Something I'll be taking away is giving myself some grace, because there's still a couple individuals in my past that if I think about them, I will start getting steamed in the face. I'll start getting mad. But at least we're all in good company. Please.
Yes. The challenge, the question that Francine said, and even Sylvia pointed out, there years ago in a lecture, she heard on the news that the lady couldn't forgive the murdered her children. She says, but I gave it to God. I can't forgive him, but I gave it to God.
Beautiful.
It's, ask yourself, is it affecting you? If you think about it, does it affect you? Does it manifest something? And if it does, then think of, okay, how do I let that go? How do I? No, you may not have to forgive them, but are you manifesting negative thoughts all the time around that? That's what's gonna may cause illness for you, and that's what we need to learn to. Sometimes, yes, we got to bite the bullet and let it go. Let some of those things go.
Yes. Okay. Trust God has the path in front of whoever these people are.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna worry about it. I want to share real quick my vision board.
Okay.
And things are going to fall off, I'm certain, but that's okay. I very carefully peeled it off of its Velcro.
You used kindergarten glue then, huh? The white pasty stuff. No, go ahead and show us.
Okay. So we're starting off over up here. I don't know if you can see this very well. So I named I've got spring, summer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I named them after, I labeled them after holidays, like Druid holidays, Celtic holidays.
Oh, okay.
As like the midpoint between summer and solstice, or like the solstices and the equinox, excuse me. Because that way it was like very, very accurate about the timing. I wanted it to be very, very accurate. So I have myself starting off as doing a lot of busy work, figuring out how to use cameras and podcasts, figuring out how to publish on Amazon KDP, and just planting the seeds for money to grow. Kind of see some coins right there. And yeah, just actually planting seeds in my garden. Then over in summer, just really kind of focusing on like the spirituality of doing the work, and concluded a symbol, which is I like the candle. And my business icon is a lit candle, and so I put that there. I was like, so for all the things I'm doing, I just want to be moving on and getting work, like doing good spiritual work. Great. And then for the second half of the year, I put I invited some financial payoffs for the universe. I was like, please, can we get a second car, please? Right now we only have one car, and that's fine. And maybe a bigger place to live, and just some prosperity symbols. And then over on the other side, for later on, having some good scans come back for health related things, doing some travel, and that is essentially what I have. And I wanted to put a happy star, as being like the main symbol of God reaching into all places.
Mm.
like all parts of my life in all
Cool.
times of my life. And I kind of put myself, put like a little picture to symbolize myself just being sits like in centered at peace, just doing good works, but enjoying it at the same time. And
Yeah.
put a picture of my favorite flowers, California poppies, right underneath. It's just because I have breathtaking happiness every time I see these flowers. And so that is what I put together. That's how I did mine. And if anyone wants to share in the coming weeks or months or any point whatsoever, I'll be so excited to see if anyone else, like what anyone else puts together for how you do yours. So
Cool. All right.
mhm.
Two comments. Read two comments,
comments.
and then we got to jump on to the next segment.
Great. Okay, so Gwendolyn says, I don't take responsibility for other people's choices and actions. Very good. That is a beautiful thing for a person to do for themselves. That's fantastic. Good for you. And Yvonne asks, can you please do more videos about forgiveness from Sylvia and Francine? Ooh, we'll make a point to do that. And Reverend Yvonne Dillsworth, I see, is commented. She says, I've learned to forgive, but hardly ever forget. Try walking in someone else's shoes. We never know what someone else has gone through or what they know or don't know. Now, it's a very merciful perspective, and really appreciate you sharing that. Thank you, Reverend Yvonne. Okay.
Cool. All right.
All right. Next segment.
Yeah.
Okay, we have negative events happen, but it's so a person will emerge victorious on the other end. Don't be too cruel on yourself over depression episodes happening in life, but tell yourself, quote, I'm going to come out of this all right. And we're going to hear about how guides hold our hands when we pass away and how beautiful it is.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Oops, I almost forgot something here. All right.
Oftentimes, and I've watched her do this over centuries and centuries, as all of you have watched her, is that she will let something enact itself to see how strong a person is or how much they will stand, and then she enacts a miracle.
Okay, I guess I could understand it easily.
So that the person is victorious, is what I'm saying.
Yes, I understand the goal. But it's sort of like, we know the negativity.
You want the semantics of how she does it.
Yeah. The magic formula.
There is no magic formula to a miracle. A miracle is without form and substance. It's a state of being, a state of happening. All right, let me give you an example. You're going down the street and a car is heading for you head on. You see the headlights and you just know, but all of a sudden, almost as if you're not turning the wheel, you do by some means turn the wheel, go up over the curbing, come down again, and the car misses you by a hair's breadth. And everybody sits in the car and said, I would have sworn that car passed through us. Sylvia had that happen once with Amy. Oh. That's the miracle. Why didn't you break your neck when you did that? Because it wasn't your time. That's the miracle.
It would be easy for us if we knew that there was a pivotal Satan and Asna was pounding on his head.
No, there is no pivotal Satan. There's evil in the world that she must sweep aside with her mantle.
Yes, and that's interesting. How does she... I want to learn how to do it, okay?
You can't do it. You can't do that. You don't have the power to do that.
If I don't bathe.
The infant Jesus of Prague that's appeared in Prague. Now they're saying that there is the Blessed Mother appearing in Prague. It's not the Blessed Mother. I hate to tell you this, to disappoint you, it's never been the Blessed Mother. Every time there's been a sighting of the Blessed Mother, it has been Asna. So when people have said that they saw her in Portugal, at Fatima, at Prague, at Lourdes, it was never the Blessed Mother. Well, You might call her that, but it's always been Asna. She's the miracle worker by which these things appear. Yes.
Someone asked, who are the players? And you said that it took many, many years for the negativity to descend on us.
Yes.
Can you tell me where they came from?
The negativity are from the dark entities.
Did it take a long time because there are more dark entities than before?
Yeah, more dark entities on the planet, and also from the simple fact that because everything is in a new revival of spirit and spirituality, the dark entities don't want that. As long as the so-called Christian norms of churches stood, they had a field day. Because everybody was afraid of hell, everybody was afraid of demons, and they lived in this negative, dark world. Women dressed in dark clothes, wore scarves on their head hidden. It was a field day. They were already racked by negativity. Now that everybody's got brightness and light coming in, and knowledge that everyone ultimately is saved in one way or another, guilt's being removed, hellfire and damnation is being removed, the soul is becoming stronger. The dark doesn't like that. The dark has no place to play now. Because that type of thing, when you know for a fact in your own household when someone is cross and mean or ill or bad, what kind of a pall does that put over your household? That's the negativity. That's the field day for the negativity. It lives there, it resides there. People that are in a happy household, laughing, joking, music on, there's no place for it. So what she in essence does is creates a more optimistic environment. And I know what you're going to say to me, but how can I help it when I get afraid, when I get anxious, when I get depressed? You've got to realize that that's part of the illness of going through this labyrinth. You mustn't be too cruel on yourself for that. It's terrible to worry about money and health and children that are lousy and parents that are burdens and things that bother you and illnesses that creep in. You can't be happy all the time. But I think sometimes instead of trying to fight against these things, go with them. In other words, you've got to say, all right, give it your best shot, but I'm going to come out of this all right. Because it is, and there's even physiological things that can happen to you. Headaches, nerve pinches, stomach problems. They all go away. Cancer goes away. Heart trouble will go away. Eventually, we're going to all die of something in life. I don't have to worry about that. I would be more worried if I had to come into life. I would be terrified. I really, truly would. It's enough for me to come into her body and stay with you the time that I am. Not that I don't love all of you, it's the fact that I don't like it here.
Neither do we.
No, I know. And any guy that comes in, the people that are on the other side really wish us well for the time being that we are coming down. Because we are surrounded by extra light and everything. Not because we're cowardice, but because this is not our element. And as soon as you come over, you'll realize, after you get these laminations off of you, these iron guards that you have, how wonderful that you feel. What I'm going to try to do tonight, and your guides asked me, we had a big meeting today in the major Hall of Wisdom, right behind the Hall of Wisdom. And your guides want to take you out tonight. So you might have some wonderful experiences. If you give your consent to be taken out tonight, your guides will take you out. Do not resist it, because if you do, you're going to vibrate all over. So just lay there quietly and let us take you out. And you will feel it. It starts as a very sort of tingly feeling, and then we just pull you right out. it might be easier for you to put your hands up over your head. We can pull you out easier. In fact, that when you die, that's how we pull you out. We pull you out by your arms straight out of your head area. Yes, like Helen's doing like that. You can lie down like that with your arms elevated up over your head. And so when you do that, it's so much easier to be taken out. We have to have something to pull on. You know, it's easier to get a hold of a hand than it is, and sometimes we try to pull you through your foot. But this seems like there's more resistance in the foot. If we pull you through your hand, if we can't, we try to pull you around the midsection, and people get very frightened when they feel hands coming around their midsection. So do that. Now, what I want to talk to you tonight about, and this is, was there any questions on any of the codependency or the forgiveness or forgetting? I'd be happy to take any issue up with you if you're confused about that. Yes.
I found that when I had a problem, like my stepfather or an old boyfriend of mine, if I went through the cycle of figuring out what role they played in my life, what lesson I was supposed to learn, I could do forgiveness. But I still, when I think about them, I have resentment.
Absolutely, and resentment is a form of non-forgiveness.
And that's an okay thing.
Absolutely it is. It is unhealthy for you not to have that. Resentment and even sometimes vengeance, a feeling of vengeance towards them. Of course you've learned from that. The fact that you're standing and walking and moving, as Sylvia says, and the fact that you can love again shows some type of forgiveness. Now, when anything's pushed to its extreme, let's say the person is so unbending and unforgiving, they never let anybody ever come in again and love them. Okay, now they're into an area of psychosis. Now they're into another problem. But you don't tell me that a boyfriend that deceives you and hurts you, a child that turns on you, someone who hurts a child, somebody who hurts the one you love, a man who protects his wife and somebody hurts her, there's no forgiveness there. You might be able to tolerate. What we're talking about is a sense of toleration. The thing that I find is people that they don't know how to vent their anger right. They will vent their anger not towards the person. They'll vent it on someone else that is the least likely victim in this thing. And that's where sometimes you have to understand, especially in a work situation, you'll get somebody who's had a terrible day and they come in and give it to you. I don't see there's much forgiveness in that.
But at least warn somebody when you're in a bad mood. Give them a warning saying, oh, I feel bad.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I feel like that would solve so many day-to-day squabbles. Like think about how many day-to-day squabbles that would resolve or lessen, significantly lessen.
Yeah.
But it's hard. I think it's hard for people to even have insight that they're in a bad mood sometimes because of somebody else.
Yeah.
Like
it's
meta awareness is sometimes that's even the issue. Yeah.
Self-awareness of what's the state of your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Comments?
Yeah,
Anybody
I've got a few
get
comments.
anything from that?
Garden says, I ask them, why are you yelling? Make them think about it. Or tell them, go cool off, go for a walk. You're in a bad mood and walk away. Yeah. If I'm in a bad mood, I will try to isolate myself and let myself work through it. Sometimes I will talk to a friend and say, I'm in a terrible mood about something that happened earlier, and see if my friend is in a place to talk. Or if I inevitably have to be around people, I will say it up front. I'll say, I apologize. I am in a headspace that I'm still working through. I'm kind of mad about something happened. It has nothing to do with you. Please just ignore me. Ignore how I'm coming off. It is not directed at you. I am stewing in my head, imagining saying things to this individual. I love you. Just ignore me. I really try to do that. Kudos to Sylvia for saying that decades ago. I was like, oh, that's so genius. Certainly helped my life move along. Couple more comments. The Upside says, it's ironic. I remember one time when I was astrally traveling to the other side and I ended up in a temple. Can't remember which one. And I was being pulled around by the arm. Oh, that's amazing. That is amazing. So maybe your guide was right with you. That's really, really beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Gardens also says about people who are mad. She says, just don't worry about it. They're just blowing off steam. So I try to just observe and neutralize it and ask Mother God to help. Beautiful. And then you don't absorb the energy so much. And I feel great relief after this realization that I'm practicing it. And I'm sure it's a life lesson. Absolutely. Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. Let's see here. Looking through more comments. I'm going to look over on Facebook. Also, hi Ron, one of our longest listeners from many, many moons ago. He's here. It's so nice to see you, sir. Michelle adds, I'm in sales, so I've had to fire myself many times. We know when we are problematic. Oh, wow. Interesting. That sounds knowing nothing about what you do, that sounds tough, and I have a lot of admiration for what you just shared. Thank you for sharing. Okay, I wanted to highlight one little thing. I thought it was lovely that she said that if you notice that you're in a depressive episode, or you notice that you're in a bad mood, or you notice that you are really, really in a rut, she said, don't be too cruel on yourself over it. I thought that was really, really gentle, because I think a lot of times I've noticed myself being really angry at myself, or just really fraught. Like, man, why can't I get myself out of this? This sucks. This is terrible. What is wrong with me that I can't get myself out of it? And she said that the nicest thing you can say is, just tell yourself, I'm going to come out of this all right. I'm going to come out of this all right. And I think that's really, really lovely.
That's something I've had to stop and think about, because when you're in that mental state, it can give your physical self a sense of, this is never going to end. It's always going to be this way. And then when you give that visual or mental note to yourself, this too shall pass. That gives the out. That gives the sense of, it's not going to last forever. There is going to be an ending. Things will change.
Yes. I'm going to come out of this all right. This will change. And it does. It inevitably does. Sometimes you have to be persistent, but I'll get you there. Okay. Shall we look at our third? Okay.
Yeah.
Third segment. If you notice that you're in a bad mood, at least tell people so they understand. We're going to hear about how Jesus visits before plane crashes, that people never feel a thing. And then we're going to start listening to some talks about the benefits of building a Stonehenge replica, how the Druids were wonderful Gnostics, and we're going to hear about extraterrestrials. Fantastic. All this emotional work, and we're going to end up with ETs. Love it.
The meditation that we heard about, it's not going to be tonight. It'll be in like a week or two. Then
Lovely.
We'll have that special meditation. So we got to remind ourselves, everybody's got to remind each other, hold your hands up. hold your hands out, or in now I'm trying to remember what she mentioned of encouragement, uh, um, but think in those terms. What I was going to write it down, and I got I'm doing too many
It's
things here.
okay.
But anyway,
Okay.
carry those ideas that Francine mentioned about the meditation in a week or two when we play that meditation. Otherwise, we're going to hear this last segment now. Here we go.
And
Okay.
I'm constantly
Marvelous.
concerned about, in your world, the hostility that I see over nothing, and the egos that flare, false egos that flare over nothing at all, so raging. Now that in itself is a psychosis. There shouldn't be any reason in this world for these raging hostility spurts that I see constantly. Now those are unwarranted. The person should exact from themselves where their own fear and their own insecurities are. Yes, to have one day where everything goes bad and the car won't start and the kids have been awful, and whatever you ladies feel about breaking a nail or doing something like that, or you men bash your thumb with a hammer, and then somebody else calls you on the phone and tells you that you have a bill that's not, or that your check's bounced. Of course you blow. But I think the idea is to blow where it should be blown, not somewhere else. Or if you're going to do that, in the name of God, and I literally mean in the name of God, please do what Sylvia does. She'll come in the office and say, please don't do, I'm really in a bad mood, I have this, so if you do, you're going to get it. At least signal where it's coming from. At least everybody knows then. But to let loose on someone for no reason is frightening. And then you know what you're left with? The guilt that you did it, the feeling that you're sorry, and then you don't know what to do. You've got yourself in a double bind. Okay, was there any other questions on this? Yes.
I can only speak for myself, but I thought that we were coming out of
The foxhole.
You are.
But every time I start to feel like I'm coming out, then there's silence from the guys, and I feel all the anxiety coming back in. Like out in, out in.
Yeah, but before you weren't even out. See, before you weren't even allowed to come out.
So I feel like maybe my nose is out.
Well, that's all right. Pretty soon your mouth and your chin comes out. Before your top of your head wasn't even out.
But are my guides then, they're not talking,
Well, they will intermittently. See, when you're coming out of the foxhole, what happens is you get spasmodic communication. And see, most everybody's shaking their head yes. Before there was no word from home. But it should be settled by, at least I'm told, the 15th. It started breaking up. The negativity, the hard-shelled negativity started breaking up about a week or two ago. When I told you. See, during this period, people are going to die. That's not a negative, but it's like everything's condensing. You lose people that you love. It's rounding off certain periods of your life. You'll notice that your life is winding so that you're getting rid of a lot of stuff. I don't mean getting rid of a loved one as getting rid of stuff. But what you'll notice is this is the time in which there is a cleansing process. People that need to come home will come home now. You'll see it within the next few weeks. You yourself, you lost a brother. It was his time, and he made the sojourn very easy. Do you know that everyone that comes down goes down on an airplane before the plane ever hits the ground? Christ comes through where the captain is and tells the people to follow him. They never feel the impact. So let's say you're in a DC-10 and the wing blows off. At that moment, right through the doorway comes Christ, and he says, come with me, and at that point, a tunnel appears, and you go right off that airplane. That's why I can't understand anybody being afraid to travel. I know Larry joked one time with Sylvia about There Comes Jesus through the...
I bet.
And she was half asleep and almost fainted when she... No, but you'll find that people are leaving now. People in your life that were close to you, and tragically, even the ones you thought were the closest, are the most loving. Even family members, all of a sudden now drop away. It's all right. People are beginning to show their colors now. And they'll show them to you in black and white, literally. Okay, now, is there any other questions? All right. Now I want to talk to you about some of the mysteries of the world and why they are there. I want to talk to you first, and I really recommend what Curtis talked to Sylvia about is building a small Stonehenge, a model of it. Stonehenge is probably, do you know what I'm talking about, Stonehenge? It's on the Salisbury Plains. It is a rock formation that has certain rocks in doorway forms. There always were like that, except for the few that have fallen down. But these were doorways that were in a circle that opened on into the heavens. It was a place in which the Druids stayed. Now, I don't want you all to get building blocks, but I would like to see you, if Curtis can build a replica of that, bring it, because it's a very powerful symbol. This was ruled by the Druids. Now, unfortunately, Christianity has made a mockery of the Druid religion. The Druid religion did not have human sacrifices. It was not black. It was what you are. They were Gnostics. And they would meet out on the Salisbury Plain because at that point the Anglican Church was against any free thinkers, and constructed this by the help of the UFOs, who love Gnostics, by the way, and levitated these stones so that they would show mankind that everything went in a circle, that life went in a circle, like a record. And each one of these doorways looked to a certain part of the heavens in which these Andromedas were, Crab Nebulites, Sagittarius, whatever it might be, that they're friends from the different Pleiades or whatever came from. It also showed man that from the pivot stone in the middle, that it opened onto the heavens, showing that man went in and out of these doorways of life, came back in and came to the central part of his own humanity, and then went out again into different parts of the universe. It's a very powerful symbol. In fact, more powerful than any crystal you would ever get. Even if you made a small matchbox miniature of it. The Druids were very elevated people who believed in the goodness of mankind. And during that time, they moved through England in a sense of healing, alchemy, herbs, and gave and administered to people all over the country, and then would meet back on the Salisbury Plains. The same as the pyramids were nothing more than not only teleportation areas, but they were also broadcasting areas. Now, if you look on a world map, you will see that the pyramids in Mexico, there is also one buried in China, there is also in Egypt, and these strategic points from Asia to Africa to America, not discounting Easter Island. I don't know if you know about Easter Island with those very strange stone heads. And they are nothing more than replicas of heads of men in spacesuits. those very elongated jaw-looking faces, they were all alike. These were nothing more than spacemen that they had carved replicas for them. That's what gives them the distortion of the features, because they wore very, very large helmets. Can you imagine if a person from another colony of some kind were to see our spacemen that went to the moon? What do you think they would make man look like? A round head with a glass face and a white suit on. And they would show him as a monster, wouldn't they? With no eyes, nose, and mouth.
Funny point that we tend to forget. What do our space people, our spacemen look like to people that have never seen them before?
Like hellish marshmallow creatures,
Or it's a one-eyed,
one-eyed
yeah, something.
marshmallow abominations with tubes sticking out everywhere,
What?
with hunchbacks.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember my notes here. Oh, why are these important now? We hear many times Francine is saying, "Oh, the negativity is ending," or "You're getting out of a foxhole." And it reminds me that yes, for those times, for those people, a large period of time of negativity had ended for their purpose, for the the people listening to trance and involved with spirituality at the time. Yes, there is still negativity going on. This, I feel, is a way to understand the patterns. We're hearing the patterns of negativity that may crop up in your life. So you can say, oh, I remember them talking about that. That's what this is. That's why I feel this way. You'll catch those patterns and go, oh, I need to build up my protection. I need to add something, ask Mother God for help, ask my guides for help of some form. That's where I think this is beneficial. I get reminded of things that, over time I've forgotten as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I always learn more, even though I feel like on this particular trance, maybe it might be like the fifth or sixth time I've heard it over or read it over time, and still pick out new things. It's just amazing, absolutely amazing.
The fun one is Stonehenge. Getting a symbol of Stonehenge and have it around. I remember Francine talking about it at Trance. I remember us playing it several years ago on New Spirit Radio, hearing it again. And I think that's when one of the listeners actually crafted a little model of it and sent it to the office. And
oh my gosh.
And I can't remember now what happened to it. It was in a box about like this and about this yay high, little model of it. I want to think. First, I was like, oh, maybe it's still on the shelf. But what's cropping back into mind? I think Yvonne has it, if I remember right. Yvonne, post in the comments if that's where that ended up. Is you happen to get it? That'll be fun to hear.
Beautiful. Yes, please.
Fun, helpful tools, tips, ideas, and what are we supposed to do after this? Oh, meditation. But yes. Are there comments? Do you have two more bits or any more comments that people want to share?
Yeah, just a couple comments really quick. Ron says, that's totally awesome. When I tell people we are not alone in the universe, they scoff at me. And too bad, it's their loss. That's it's amazing how that seems to have changed. It seems to be changing over time. So I hope that people like continually get more and more open to that. Yvonne says, "Yes, I have it. Reverend Yvonne has it." That's
cool.
so cool. It'd be marvelous to see a picture of it. Very cool.
One of these, yeah.
Yeah. And then Ramona says, Novus Spiritus is what appeals to me. My first book by Sylvia was all it took. Amen. So much love and appreciation for what she has given us. Absolutely.
It's fun. It's
That's
fun
very
to
cool.
hear different people's connection. What resonated with you? What hooked you into what caught your attention about the philosophy, or what were you reading that, oh yeah, that's it. That's what I'm looking for.
Mhm.
Fun to hear those stories from everybody.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
All
Meditation.
right. Meditation time. Yes.
All right. Well, I need to take a minute here and prep
Okay.
that one. Let's see. Yeah, that one right there. Oh, because these go along with Sunday services. This is I think this is the prayer for winter solstice. And I've done what I can to sort these through for appropriate for the month or for the celebration, like spring equinox
lovely.
and the winter solstice, those kind of things. So hopefully these go along with it. Now it's time we encourage you to sit with your feet flat on the floor and your palms upward on your lap. And what's my other phrase? Oh, if you need to pay attention to what you're doing, don't pay attention to us, but by all means come back and listen to these wonderful meditations in the on-demand. For the rest of us, we're going to get a meditation. Here we go.
Find a comfortable chair to sit in with your feet flat on the floor and your palms upward on your lap. Now, take 3 deep breaths to start relaxing the mind and the body. When you are ready, close your eyes.
Wings of the Mother. Close your eyes and lift up your mind and heart to God. You're going to see both Mother and Father God because they are together. Asna is the Blessed Mother Goddess who comes down to help with everything. Feel appears above and your commitment and belief in the Christ consciousness within you. Ask Asna, God Almighty, the Holy Spirit, and the Christ consciousness to rid you of all negativity, to drop it, to chip it away. Ask that Asna's wings of hope, love, and divinity surround you and keep you protected. Meditate on Jesus, meaning when he said, Mother, behold thy son. Son, behold thy mother. The symbol of truth and consciousness is Asna, our dearest goddess, our mother with her mantle of protection. She intercepts in our lives. All we need to do is ask for her help. Consider your deepest request now. Ask the Mother for that which is in your heart. Do this now. This week, stay in contact with Asna. Glorify her and pay her homage. Once you are beneath her wings, she will help you in all areas of your life.
Now, on the count of 3, come all the way back to full alertness. 1, 2, 3. Find a comfortable chair to sit in.
I did already. You notice we switched places. There was something horrific happened while the meditation was going on. Oh, well, let's make everybody dizzy.
It's okay. I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Anyway,
Meditation's like, you're reaching up, you're going to fly, we're soaring. And I was like, oh no, we soared too high.
we're
It's
too
okay.
high.
It's okay. We're a little too high.
I hope everybody's come back to consciousness after that. Also, I just realized in the middle of the meditation, it's not the meditations that are oriented to the celebrations, it's the prayers. We're going to hear prayers about the winter solstice.
Oh, lovely.
Fun.
Beautiful. Looking forward to it.
And for everyone else, if you have questions about what we share, feel free to post in chat or email us questions to newspirit@novus.org. Of course, we appreciate listeners, both live and on demand. You can show your appreciation for New Spirit Radio by sharing, liking, and subscribing. Check out our websites, novus.org, sylviabrowne.com, and chrisrightnow.com. Yes, half of you know we're on Facebook, and the other half know we're on YouTube. And there's some of you that know that we are on Discord as well. Let's see, if you want to learn more about our philosophy, you can start a study group. You will get some fun benefits. Along with that, church services, quickly, I think I just did we are at the beginning of the month. So yes, I just did a Sunday service recording that I posted for the first Sunday of the month. In addition, there is in-person or live stream Sunday service in Las Vegas, which is hosted by our Reverend Ellen Schloss. You can be invited to those by putting your email on the website, and you should get a invitation to that. On the last Sunday of the month, and I think March, I'm invited to participate in that one. The last Sunday of the month is a special Sunday Zoom service that you're welcome to participate in. That's also hosted by Reverend Ellen Schloss. Things to look forward to. Now's the time for the novena I spoke about. It's a special prayer ceremony where we are going to say a phrase together 3 times, and I'll lead us off. We'll say the phrase together 3 times, and then I'll tell you what to ask for. And we're going to do that 3 times. I don't have another set of 3 fingers to do 3. Would you put up 3 fingers? There. Now we're going to do that 3 times. The phrase is, I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. So you'll just be saying it with me. I'll lead us off here. What does this tie into? Yes, we have heard many times Francine, Rahim, and Sylvia have shared with us that we are a spark of the divine. It goes with our tenet number 10 that says, let no one convince you that you are less than a God. Do not let fear imprison your spiritual growth. What I would also like you to do, encourage you to do, visualize that we're all holding hands together, whether we're out in that dark velvet of space that we've heard from a meditation or in a large room holding hands together. It doesn't matter when you're listening to this. Just visualize that we're all doing this together. And now we'll begin. I'll lead us off. We'll say the phrase 3 times, and I'll tell you what we'll ask for. Here we go. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, ask for things for yourself. Okay. The second one, here we go. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now ask for things for others. Okay, and the last one, here we go. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, picture our light going out like a beacon of light for others seeking this spiritual knowledge. Think of something you appreciate from the last several weeks, so you can carry that thought through the next week to help keep you mentally appreciative, positive, and uplifted. Now, show your appreciation to Francine and Raheem for researching all of this wonderful knowledge, Sylvia for coming to this insane asylum of the universe to start this movement, and for showing us how to get some peace of mind and grace while we're here, Asna for helping us and protecting us, and Father God for providing us the most prestigious school for us to experience, learn, and satisfy our unique spark of curiosity. Appreciate Bob Ingold's work in the backgrounds. We definitely appreciate Sammy and Javon for our wonderful theme music, our intro outros. Writing, setup, and hosting is Reverend Catherine Taylor. Editing, technical direction, and hosting is Reverend Tom Bigley. And now a prayer by Sylvia, which I need to select. All right, got it. Prayer by Sylvia. And if you'd like your comments posted on the video, by all means, start typing in and I'll check them out so they show up on the bottom below us on the screen. Here we go. Here's the prayer.
Morning, the winter solstice prayer. Dearest Mother Asna, bless this winter solstice. Bless this time of quiet and introspection. Bless us with the colors of nature that you guard. Bless this earth and those of us who will struggle here. Please surround us with your grace. This, dear Mother, we ask in your holy name. We also call on the name of Jesus, our Christ consciousness. Our Father, who is with us, and the divine light of the Holy Spirit. The colors we ask are auras to emulate are green for healing, purple for sanctity, gold for higher consciousness, blue for tranquility, white for protection. We want all these colors to surround us, but we ask to receive a special color today that dominates our aura to manifest our needs throughout the year. Bless us, Mother. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
We love you very much. Good night.
For so long we have ignored you, as if you were not there. All praise went to the Father. We were so unaware that through the years you've shed your tears for all the pain we bear. Oh, Asna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your name. You are Mother God. You've planted every blade of grass, creator of the stars. And when I'm feeling down and out, you mend my broken heart. So now I sing this song of thanks because of who you are. Oh, Asna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your name. You are Mother God. You're more than a friend to me. You give me everything I need. In your peace you hold me tight. You are the bringer of the light. With no fear we boldly stand. Because you hold this world in your hands. You are the truth. You are the hope and love we never knew. Oh, Asna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your name. You are Mother God.